Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and I'm going to try to not ramble on as much as I did in my review of the first film. Because the first film I loved to death, I was just sort of gushing and just talking about random scenes. And now we get to the sequel, which, yes, is not as good as the first one, but it's a direct-to-video sequel. I think for a direct-to-video sequel, it's not that bad. I don't really see what the big problem is. The only two problems I have is the effects when the vampires die are a bit lackluster, and I'm guessing that's because of budget, because this was a direct-to-video sequel, so it did not have as much money as the first one. And the music is not as good, whether song-wise or score-wise, as the first one. The score isn't too great. But other than that, From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money, and I'm not reviewing the third one because the third one just sucks ass. I don't understand why this gets a 4.0 out of 10 IMDb. I think that's way too fucking low. Way too low. I think Scott Spiegel did a good job directing this. I liked him as a director. Well, unless it's Hostel 3. I did not like that one, but I liked the film he did Intruder. I like that he's a fan of when he does directing. He's this weird camera angles, camera tricks, camera POVs, being influenced, I'm sure, by Sam Raimi and such. You saw a lot of that in Intruder. He brings that to this. And that's fun. I'm like, okay, we just see so many horror films that go direct to video and vampire movies and whatever. I like the energy that Scott Spiegel brings to it. I think this is a very energetic film. It's not that long of a movie. It's like an hour and 20 some minutes, isn't it? Yeah, an hour and 20, under 90 minutes. And just a lot of cool POVs and ways certain things are shot, certain things are revealed, which I'll get into. I like the cast. Robert Patrick is your lead. I like Robert Patrick. You also have Bo Hopkins as a sheriff or Texas Ranger, that type of thing. I like Bo Hopkins. I've seen him in films like Mutant with Reens Hauser, among others. I like Bo Hopkins. You also have Dwayne Whitaker, who has been in a lot of stuff with Rob Zombie. I think he was in the movie Feast as well. Muse Watson, Raymond Cruz. He's definitely a guy who I've seen in quite a few films. I think he was in like Alien Resurrection. Yeah, I think he had a bit role in Broken Arrow. He's been in a lot of stuff. Even Tiffani Amber Thiessen and Bruce Campbell make a cameo at the beginning of the film, which I thought was kind of clever because you think that's what the movie is. It starts with them as like they're lawyers, and they're in an elevator, and there's a dead body on top of the elevator, and then there's all these bats that attack them and kill them. But then it's a movie that's being watched by Robert Patrick. I thought that was kind of funny, kind of clever. And pretty much Robert Patrick's watching TV. Bo Hopkins talks about how this one guy's gotten out of jail. Dwayne, which is played by Dwayne Whitaker. This Dwayne Whitaker is escaped from jail, and he's planning this robbery. And he calls Robert Patrick, get the gang together, meet me here, and we're going to rob this place. And then pretty much the gist of the plot: Dwayne Whitaker, Robert Patrick gets the rest of the team. They wait in the motel room. Dwayne Whitaker is driving. He hits a bat. He goes to the titty twister. So I'm guessing this takes place kind of around the first film, because they mention about how the Gecko brothers have killed Earl McGraw, which was the Michael Parks. But the titty twister's still up, and like Danny Trejo's character's still there. So I'm guessing it's been between doing that, but I guess maybe around the same time this is happening, that's happening. So maybe, I don't know, it's kind of a wonky timeline. I think some people, I don't know, maybe some people were mad that George Clooney didn't come back. I'm just glad they didn't kill his character off, or that it was played by a different character. I mean, there's many sequels where the person doesn't come back. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. I enjoy that, but you don't have Nancy back. Friday the 13th sequels, many of them. Friday the 13th Part 4 doesn't have anybody from the first three movies, but I like the final chapter. Part 7, The New Blood, doesn't have Tom Matthews with his character, but I enjoy Part 7, The New Blood. See, I mean, there's a lot of sequels that do that, so it doesn't bother me. Especially when I like these guys. And it's weird that Tiffani Amber Thiessen's there, even though she's technically not part of the movie. The actual story, I should say. But yeah, I thought Bo Hopkins and Robert Patrick, when they're together, had some fun stuff. Like, Bo Hopkins wants some info, and Robert Patrick tries to BS him, and Bo Hopkins grabs Rob's nuts. Because Robert Patrick's like, oh, where's your warrant? And then Bo Hopkins grabs Robert Patrick by the nuts. That's okay, forget about the warrant, man. And I was talking about a lot of the energetic direction and POVs. Like, for example, Robert Patrick goes to one guy. And one guy, he's like a rodeo guy. And we see via Robert Patrick's reflection of his sunglasses that the guy just flies off and thrown off the bull. And when he meets Raymond Cruz, who has a daughter on a treadmill that he's pumping steroids into. You have the POV of Raymond Cruz getting beer out of a cooler, or a POV where he's doing push-ups looking at Robert Patrick, or you have the scene where they're trying to open the safe, and you have a POV of the safe as it goes like this, and then it goes like this, and goes like this, looking at the guy doing it. I love that kind of stuff. I love that because how many times have we seen a guy, at a safe? Do it differently. Do it something interesting. Do something creative. And that's what I love what Scott Spiegel does. That creative POV makes it, to me, the movie interesting. It makes it unique to other movies when Scott Spiegel does it. I don't remember him doing it that much in Hostel 3. Again, I haven't seen that movie in forever, but I don't remember him doing that. If that's the case, maybe that's why I didn't like that film as much. But I love when he does that stuff. But yeah, Dwayne Whitaker, after his truck hits a bat, he goes up, finds a twig twister. There's Danny Trejo, who decides to give him a lift, but he drives him right back to his truck, and the bat that was hit was Trejo's buddy, and the buddy is able to bite Dwayne Whitaker. And this is another interesting POV shot. It's a inside of a vampire mouth biting a neck. So you see the inside of the vampire clamping on the neck, and you see the teeth clamping down the blood. I've never seen that in a vampire movie before. I've never seen a POV of a vampire's mouth clamping down on the neck. I like that. Or even stuff like when Robert Patrick and them are waiting in the motel, and Raymond Cruz is talking about something that happened on this porn shoot he heard about, and how this guy came in and this person was fucking his wife or his girlfriend, and Raymond Cruz is saying, he shot the director, and then the camera pans and the guy shoots the director, which I think that sees as a Danny Trejo, Scott Spiegel as the director of the porno flick. Then the camera moves back, there's Raymond Cruz. He shot the guy fucking her. Goes back, and then you see the guy shoot him. Goes back. He even shot the guy who brought the donuts. Comes back, see the guy shoot the guy who brought the donuts. And the camera zooming back and forth. I thought there was some interesting direction in this. It kept it going. I will say, is it as good as the first one? No. It doesn't have the same Quentin Tarantino dialogue. And it doesn't have the same budget behind it. And you don't have... It's not as... I will say it's not as exciting I don't know, maybe intensity-wise as From Dusk Till Dawn. Like, From Dusk Till Dawn, they had the budget and the craft. It's a better crafted film. But I think this, it tries as much as it can for its budget. And I can see the people trying with the film. I don't think the film's lazy. But I will say, like, is the dialogue the most... it's not as good as Tarantino dialogue. It's not. But it has some fun stuff. I mean, a girl that gets killed and this bad is on the loofah and kills the girl. It's actually Dwayne Whitaker who's the bat. And he tells Raymond Cruz who's on the other room, oh, I just dropped in for a quick bite. And there's blood all over the bathroom. And like the female vampire gets Raymond Cruz and he's able to slash the vampire's head off with glass. But he gets bit by Dwayne. And both of them come back to the room, Robert Patrick and Moran, and say, we're okay, we're going to go with the robbery tonight. And there's some nice shots, like when one of them kills a guard, and we see the guard getting killed, but then you see it pans to the monitor, and the monitor you don't see the reflection of the vampire. It's just like later on Robert Patrick looks at a monitor, Raymond Cruz is there going back and forth in the chair, then it pans, Robert Patrick sees it's the chair with nobody in it, because vampires don't cast a reflection. Like, cool, they did that in one shot, and I thought that was really a good-looking shot. And Robert Patrick, again, he's a robber, but he's not as evil of a guy, because even he goes, well, why do you have to kill the guard for? And ultimately, the cops get there, Bull Hopkins gets there, everyone gets turned to, all the robbers get turned to a vampire, except Robert Patrick, who's trying to call, and there's like a POV through the phone cord, which I thought that was cool. And Robert Patrick gets attacked, is thrown against the wall. If Robert Patrick did these stunts, he must have been banged up a lot, because this character gets thrown a lot. And the vampires, it has a really fun, exciting finale. I will say that I think the finale is pretty exciting for a direct-to-video horror film. You did name me a bunch of direct-to-video horror films that have come out in the past 10 years. I'm like, this is pretty exciting than those you mentioned. When the vampires, they're wiping out cops. They throw one cop who bounces off the fucking telephone pole wires and get electrocuted from that. One guy gets stabbed with his own sniper rifle. Tear gas gets shot into the building. And Rob has one of those crosses. And I like that the vampires keep trying to get him. And he keeps having to... They come out of the tear gas. They come out of the gas. And Robert Patrick has to fend them off at the last second. It's like, where are they? And they keep popping out. And he keeps trying to defend himself or going through the gas. I really enjoyed that scene. I thought that was handled very well. And he actually runs right through the glass doors, gets arrested by the cops. He's like, oh, I'm so glad to see you guys. And he tries to tell the cops, but they don't want to listen. And then this must have been this year, in the same year as Universal Soldier: The Return, and they both do the same scene, which is funny to me. It's like 4 guys with machine guns that come out with a bunch of cops outside, and they just unload. Granted, The Return has... Okay, first off, I'll say I like Universal Soldier: The Return more than this, because it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Hell, if it was Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting vampires, can I see that movie now? But I still like Robert Patrick. But, you know, it's Universal Soldier: Return. That's a film I've always found very underrated. And in that scene, you have a great song as well. I'm doing a shitty job with that song, but this is still a fun scene for a direct-to-video film. These vampires just lay waste to all these cops and get shot up, blowing up cars. Even 2 of the vampires both kick a cop car at the same time. And the cop car slides into these 2 cops. I'm like, that's really well done for a low-budget direct-to-video movie. It just impresses me when that happens. And they just shoot the shit out of the cops like Universal Soldier Return. They're blowing up cars, and one cop gets impaled onto a telephone pole. And then pretty much it's Bo Hopkins, Robert Patrick, and the son of Michael Parks' character from the first one. They go up and they fight the vampires. One of the female cops had been turned into a vampire. Robert Patrick fights her off, throws her on a pole, and there's like a POV of the pole, bloody pole, looking at Robert Patrick. Bo Hopkins closes the door to the ambulance as there's a cross on it, which fucks up one, and Bo stabs one. You have one guy trying to bite Robert Patrick and saying, "Oh, the bite ain't that bad." And the guy goes, "Bite my ass." I like that Robert Patrick said, "Bite my ass." And he's able to sort of kick Raymond Cruz onto these horns that are on the front of the car. And you even get a POV inside the skull after it's melted, looking at Robert Patrick. Robert Patrick did a smart thing and hid in the car, so when Dwayne Whitaker comes in, he's actually able to stab him in the back through it. Like a good version of the ending that Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, where this time it's the good guy behind in the backseat of the car stabbing through, granted not with a chainsaw, but stabbing through and killing the vampire there. And he uses these sunglasses to burn the fuck out of one with the reflection, the sun coming out. Now again, the deaths of the vampires, the CGI on that is not great. Again, I'm guessing that's because of the low budget. It's a direct-to-video movie. So when the vampires die, and the CGI on them is not that good. And the musical score isn't that much to run home about either. I'm looking to see who did the music. I think Joseph Stanley Williams. Not up to par with the first one. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Robert Patrick and Bo Hopkins, which are both the last men standing at the end. I thought they did a great job. I thought the rest of the cast did perfectly fine. It's a short film under 90 minutes. If you don't like Bruce Campbell, you get to see him die at the beginning in the movie within the movie. I thought the finale was a lot of fun in the vein of Universal Soldier: The Return. Although then I preferred Universal Soldier: The Return over this. And I just really like that energetic camera work, POV, try and do whatever we can with the scene that you've seen in many other movies. I like that Scott Spiegel tries to make it interesting in some way, shape, or form. POV or angles or certain other things. And I thought it's a well-directed movie. It has a good cast. It has a quick pace. And I think this is a fun sequel. I think it's an underrated sequel. It does not deserve a 4.0. I have seen so many shitty sequels that are worse than this. In fact, I'm looking one up right now to see what it gets. If fucking the computer will work. A 4.6. Lost Boys, The Tribe. The one with the fucking relative of Kiefer Sutherland, Angel Sutherland, who's like, "Hi, how you doing? My name is Kiefer Sutherland. Do you want to join our thing?" That gets a 4.6? But this film gets a 4.0? The fucking movie starring Angel Sutherland and... Oh yeah, you get Corey Feldman back for a total of like 2 minutes. But this gets a 4.0? But again, Lost Boys: The Tribe gets a 4.6. Are you shitting bricks on me? And calling fucking vanilla ice cream? That's a bunch of bullshit. I like the Lost Boys. I like the third one, the Thirst. This one, though, I mean, that one, though, is a piece of shit. One day I would like to re-review the Lost Boys films. Not anytime soon. I got too much shit to do, and I'm burning myself out. But anyway, bottom line, this is an underrated sequel. It's not that bad of a movie. I never understood the hate for this. It's not that bad at all. Oh, Lost Boys to Thirst gets a 5.2. Cool. It is higher than the second one. It deserves it. 5.2 is a bit low, but Lost Boys to Thirst, I'm glad it's higher than the second one. It deserves it. It's higher than this, and, you know, I like Lost Boys to Thirst, so that's fine. That was a good one from 2010. But, yeah, this, you know, 4.0 is... People are like, why do you... Who gives a shit about IMDb? Because I don't know how else to see what the general consensus is for a film other than IMDb. This film is not that fucking bad. If it had a bit more budget to be a theatrical film, maybe they could have fixed the vampire deaths to not be lackluster looking. And maybe they could have brought someone like a Graham Revell or someone else to do the score instead of this guy who I'd never heard of before. But yeah, I think this is a good movie. It's a good sequel. It's a fun sequel. And yeah, it doesn't bring the characters back from the first one, but many dozens and dozens of sequels that you name have done that. Tremors 2 doesn't have Kevin Bacon, but I still love Tremors 2 Aftershocks. And yes, I love that more than this. But this film is not that bad. At all. I don't think it's a bad film at all. Either way, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.